Hey YouTube, Mark Coffman here, and today I am actually going to be reviewing a watch. And this watch is actually, well, to my knowledge, this is the cheapest digital watch you can get on eBay right now. And this is basically a digital watch. This here looks very much like a CASIO. So I have this one here that I paid $5, and that included the shipping. And right next to it, I'm going to put the CASIO A158W. You can see there, they're very similar watches. Now, probably about a year ago, I could probably pick this up for $15. And then the F91W for about $10 to $7. Now these are running about $22. I was very curious upon seeing this if $5 got you a decent watch. So I did a little bit of research, and I found a review on YouTube of this exact watch, but in this black configuration, which is actually the configuration I ordered it in. And I received this like retro black and gold type of configuration. So I didn't get what I paid for. That's first off what happened. But I have to say I'm not disappointed, but I am. So the reviewer actually said that this watch is not worth the money. Whereas for me, I actually think it is. Now he, I believe, picked up a lemon or two lemons where the quartz crystal was not actually cut the best. The quartz crystal within a watch is actually what is keeping the time, and it oscillates like a quartz tuning fork like this. And based upon how it is cut, it is going to keep better time. Now his actually gained about 30 additional seconds a day. And then the other one he bought lost about 20 seconds a day, which at that point you are paying for a mechanical watch, not a quartz watch. So those were very poorly made quartz crystals. I've heard of people actually upgrading the quartz crystal in these from a broken CASIO, and you can just unsolder the old one and solder in the new. Trust me, that's too much trouble. But I thought this was pretty interesting. So I've had this for about 10 hours, and it has been on time on the second, no problem. Okay, so I've had no problems. The CASIO is water resistant, and this one is water based. I mean, water busted or water bashed. I don't know. It's probably going to be water bashed because I actually took this knife apart. Now, I didn't take it apart, but not the knife, the watch apart. I took the back off, and it actually revealed quite a few things. So here are some photos of the watch opened. And I have to say it was a little interesting because it differs from the CASIO, but they actually left a space for a gasket to be put in the back, and there was no gasket. So I took some silicone grease and kind of heavily put that there, and I put a gasket. It's not going to make any difference water resistant wise, but it might keep some moisture that comes off of my wrist from coming into the back of the watch. So that's why I added it. I just added it because I wanted to. But where these differ the most, I think, is in the case finishing and in the crystal. So this here is a sheet of plastic that is applied onto the watch, and it's essentially glued on. It's stuck on there, but it only guarantees this watch a little bit of water resistancy. But you can see there that it's actually cut on the edges, chamfered very well, and it is printed very well, whereas this one is not. And this is actually a sticker. So think about those like kids stickers that you used to have as a child, and they kind of rose up a little bit and you could stick them anywhere. This is essentially what this is. You can see it doesn't actually fit the edges perfectly. It's relatively thick. It's actually bendable. If I pressed here, I could probably press in a little bit. It's a little more stiff than those stickers, but it's essentially the same thing. It's just stuck on here. So there really is no water resistancy on this at all. You have light lap reset. It actually has all the same functions as the Casio. It has an alarm, a stopwatch, and then your time. So the Casio has the same setup. But you can notice there that the Casio is a little bit higher pitched, and this one here is actually a lower pitch. Now the case is not finished as well, but it's finished better than most I've seen. So this is honestly a very, very inexpensive watch that you're probably going to wear and not worry about. The bracelet's not very impressive. You can see there it's not even really on there at all. This is a pressure weld or a laser weld here that welds these two together, and you can actually see where that's been burnt. Whereas the Casio is actually folded. So it's actually folded together, which would guarantee it to be on your wrist a little bit better than it being welded like that. So this is all stamped, whereas this is stamped and then welded on the end pieces. So it's not done very well. The clasp works okay, but it is tricky to get onto the wrist. So I'm going to show that right now. So you have to kind of hold it here and try and get those claws to meet. And it's very fidgety, and then you have to press it in. So it does go on, and it does work. The backlight actually works. So I'm going to turn this down, and then you can see that there is a little bit of a backlight. So that is actually more than enough to see at night, especially if your eyes are used to the darkness at that point. But for me personally, I bought this out of curiosity, but at the same time, this is something that is going to probably go in like a carry-on bag, or it's going to go in my luggage as a travel watch. Really, this is a watch that you're going to just take on a trip, and you really don't care. You don't care if you lose it. You don't care if it breaks. It's something that's replaceable. It's even cheaper than a Timex. And for me personally, it's even cheaper than the Casio. Now the Casio is water resistant. You can probably swim with it and shower with it. I have, and I've had no issues. Whereas this one, I wouldn't do any of those things except just wear it. I would just wear this until it died. Now you're probably wondering, why didn't you change the battery when you opened it? Honestly, I didn't feel like it. The battery cost me about $1.50, and then, I mean, that could last me about 10 to 5 years in this. But for me personally, I find this thing to actually be breaking before a year. So I will just say that this watch is worth $5, but I don't think you can expect a lot out of it. It does work. It does go into 24-hour time if you need that as well. And I believe it's a good option if you need a throwaway watch. It also works if you need to have somebody to have a watch and they don't have one. You don't want to spend a lot of money on them. So that is the review on this watch. So I thought you guys would enjoy this. Till the next one, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.